afternoon, everybody. Sean Palmer over here. Seth Kamen's over there. No, the other way. Yeah, there you go. We're good to go today. NBA preview. Seth and Sean Sports Radio. First and foremost, before we start with the NBA, Seth, I thought you were going to have. Look, I'm 0-7.
You're 0-7.
I'm screwed. My Jets are screwed. I thought that there was some belief that there would be positive and meaningful football in the state of New York / New Jersey in the month of November. And then I saw, look, I've seen some really bad collapses in my life. I have.
You have.
Most of them have been for my teams. And I saw I saw in real time the Buffalo Bills collapse against the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans collapse against the Buffalo Bills, and Frank Reich come all the way back. And then I saw Bo Nix. And really, I don't think it had anything to do with Bo Nix. I think it 100% had to do with the ineptitude of the New York Football Giants on Sunday. That was as bad as I can remember a game.
It was not fun. I had a weekend of my son losing in triple overtime in a basketball game, followed by Maryland losing in a horrendous game to UCLA. And then the Giants blowing a 26-8 lead.
In the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter. I've tried to look at it like this. This was not a team I was at any point did I expect this team to go anywhere this year?
No, that's true. But once you're on the gravy train, you're on the train.
I mean, to lose two games where they took the lead in the last 30 seconds is incomprehensible to me. There's nothing really great I can say. But at least I find this team watchable. Look, they're playing the Eagles, then they play the Packers, then they play the Niners, then they play the Bears or whatever. They were not going to the playoffs anyway. I choose to see it as this team played one of the top 3 defenses in the NFL and scored 32 points without their best player. And should we have lost the game? Obviously not. To blow an 18-point lead, to go for a weird 2-point conversion, to miss 2 extra points. I mean, it's high school stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm not overly discouraged. Simply because
that was going to be my question. Are you disappointed?
Look. They should have beaten Dallas. They should have beaten Denver. And I've never seen a team have 5 turnovers in a row to blow the game against New Orleans. But in 7 games they've played this year, they've been competitive in 5. And we are building towards next year, and it does look like we have some upside, which is all I can hope for. Whether Shane is there, whether Brian Daboll is there or not, it looks like we have our quarterback for the future. It looks like
that's what I was going to say. You have your quarterback for the future, and you didn't have to give up this year's first-round pick to get the quarterback.
Correct. And the way the quarterbacks are going this year, it's gonna. I mean, who the hell knows for this draft? Every quarterback that we looked at for the first round 3 months ago is literally fallen off the face of the earth. And then you have Dante Moore and Fernando Mendoza, who are, I guess the Jets are probably scouting pretty hard right now. But I look at this team. The offensive line, when Andrew Thomas has played, has been relatively decent. They're short their number 1 receiver, obviously, in Malik Neighbors, but the receivers have been okay. Scatterbo and Tracy feels like a solid running combo. Our quarterback I'm fine with. Our defensive line is great. Our linebackers are okay. Our corners are But at least we can see upside here. I mean, In retrospect, should we have kept Xavier McKinney instead of spending on Javon Holland? Probably. But there's at least a light at the end of the tunnel for us. Which, unfortunately, I'm not saying this to be facetious. I can't really say that about you guys.
No, there are a couple of things. Number one, every time somebody says Scatabo, all I want to go is Scataboo. I have no idea why. It is just an inherent reaction for me to say. Maybe I just want to root for somebody, and that's a cool name to do. That name is much more of a hockey player name than it would be a football player, because I can only imagine him scoring a goal and the announcer going, Scataboo, Scataboo, Scataboo. Or, wait, that was my toe. Forget that. Anyway, moving on from that. But, yeah, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, the light, if there was a light at the end of the tunnel, I mean, Woody totally shut that light when he threw Justin Fields under the bus yesterday. Yeah, I am beside myself, and how Justin Fields, if Aaron Glenn wanted to go back to Justin Fields at any point this year, I'm not sure how he could ever do that. I'm not sure Justin Fields will throw another pass for the Jets after what he did.
Tyrod Taylor is now questionable. So he may have no choice.
Fantastic. Mike White is now the backup quarterback, by the way, for Buffalo, and Quinn Ewers is the backup quarterback for Miami. So Zach Wilson is now once again available if the Jets want to make a trade before the November 3rd deadline. We'll get more into the deadline next week, as we have one more week before the deadline for the NFL. And I think you're going to see a couple of minor trades this week. You rarely do. I think the Micah Parsons in-season trade, or right before the season trade, is probably going to be the biggest one that you see. But we'll talk more about that next week when we have a little bit more time to go. Before we move into our NBA preview, congratulations to the Toronto Blue Jays. You have won the right to get utterly and completely spanked by the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, I hope not. I really do. But the A's in 1990, right? We've seen the Dodgers, the same Dodgers, beat the A's in 1988. We've seen this happen where we've seen the Mariners lose when they won 116 games. We've seen the concept of David beating Goliath. We've seen it. Not recently. And I'm not sure that's going to happen this time. This team is, and that's not to say that Toronto is a small payroll team, because they're not. Let's not kid ourselves. Toronto has a $40 million first baseman. They have a $25 million center fielder. They have a pitching staff that has two $20 million pitchers. They're not the Milwaukee Brewers.
No.
And they're not the Pittsburgh Pirates. And they're not the Minnesota Twins. But they're also not the New York Mets and the New York Yankees and the Reds. Well, the Red Sox aren't in that category anymore, but they're not those teams. So is this a David versus Goliath? I think the only reason you can say that, I think any person with that guy on his team is basically David, and everybody else is Goliath. Because, Seth, that may have been the best single game performance in any sport ever.
3 homers, 6 innings pitched with 10 strikeouts, no runs allowed. I'm not sure what the comp is.
So,
perfectly honest,
somebody asked me that, and I came up with a list. Okay, these are the single game comps across all sports that I could come up with, and I had to. And B, I had to be, so you couldn't do, and I had to not necessarily witness it, but be able to witness it. So if I was 4, it doesn't count. I had
Did it
to
have
literally
to be a playoff game?
No, not at all. Nope. Some of them were not. Okay. So this was my list, and I'm going off with the top of my head. Kobe's 81 is on that list. Isaiah Thomas' game
against the Lakers
against
41 on 1 foot.
Right, and 28 in quarter 4. Okay. LeBron against Detroit when he was 21 and went nuts. So those are my NBA games. Roy Halladay pitching a no-hitter in the playoffs. That is pretty damn impressive if you can do that. Kirk Gibson, because if you're hitting on one leg, I don't care. You're still hitting on one leg. And I think that was more for effect than it was for anything else, but he was on that list. Calvin Johnson, 329 yards of receiving, and still lost the game, which is still uncanny to me that somebody could do that. I think that may have been it. Hold on. I think, let me look at my list real quick. I had one other, I'm sure. Halladay, LeBron. Oh, and 2 others. I'm sorry. Kerry Wood,
20
second start. One hitter and 20 strikeouts as a rookie. The best game score of all time. And then finally, I am surprised you have not thought about this. Christian Leitner's Elite Eight game against Kentucky.
So I mean, I didn't come up with the list.
No, one of my friends asked me, so that's why I went to. He actually posted it, so I went to that.
I don't think you can choose a non-playoff game because I don't think you need to have it at a level. You know, Kobe's 81-point game. I mean, it didn't mean anything. Calvin Johnson's game didn't mean anything.
Okay. So that puts 3 of them in there. That puts Halladay. The 4 actually. Halladay, Isaiah, LeBron, and Leitner. 4 teams. 4
years. Leitner's the greatest thing I've ever seen. For those of you who are not familiar, it's probably the greatest college basketball game of all time. And he went 20 for 20, including hitting the game-winning shot at the buzzer. In 1992 Duke Kentucky Eastern Regional Final,
and the best shot of all time in college for me.
It's up there. The Halladay,
remember,
is incredible.
It was game 1.
It was game 1 against an outman team. They played the Reds, if I remember correctly.
Don't care.
Okay. I'm trying to think of. I guess in individual sports, you really can't comp.
So somebody had brought up Michael Phelps, and I said, yeah, if you take the whole day and combine 6 different events and yada yada yada, but that's not one singular event. So you could put
what you believe that came from like 4 seconds behind and broke the record by 2 seconds to come back and win.
Yep.
The thing is that none of these sports combine 2 different skill sets like what Ohtani did. And that's where the differentiation lies. What Isaiah Thomas did was mind-boggling. Nobody will remember because they lost that series. And to be honest, that Detroit team was as unlikable championship team going forward as any in recent memory. But that performance was stunning. Leitner was stunning.
I still think LeBron's is actually better than both. LeBron is a 21-year-old with Danny Gibson as his second best guy.
Booby.
That was. I remember watching that and going, A, this guy can't miss, and B, they could put 5 guys on him and he would have nobody else to give the ball to.
Yeah, I think you can make that argument. But yeah, no, I think you can make the argument. I think what Ohtani did is the most unique thing we've ever seen.
Sure.
And that may be the best way to put it.
So
Milwaukee, look, to be honest, Milwaukee was completely, what's the right word? Milwaukee was done.
They were out. Yeah. They had shot their shot, right? And that's where they were. And I think the only comparable performance to Shohei Ohtani in any game was Rick Wise hitting 2 home runs and pitching a no-hitter.
Correct, in 1971. I think it was 71. But
do you know who the pitcher he pitched against was?
Was it Seaver?
It was Carlton.
Or Carlton?
It was Carlton.
I knew it was one of the two.
They both pitched 9 innings.
Was this the year Carlton won 27-10 and the team won 59 games?
No, I don't think it was that year, but I don't believe it was that year.
Okay. But regardless, it is one of the most astounding and greatest sports accomplishments we've ever seen.
Yeah. And he didn't just hit them, guys. If you haven't seen him,
I did.
No, I'm saying if you as a whole, if our viewership has not seen these home runs, these were not Mark McGwire's 60-second home run that just went over the foul pole. One of them went out of the stadium.
Yeah, these were monster shots.
These were monster, no doubt shots. And then, I'll just go on the mound and strike out 10 in 6 innings. By the way, the majority of the starters this year have not gone 6 innings. So, yeah. Look, we talked about it when he got paid, right? And trust me, he got paid. But he, so far, has been worth every dime. Both in the United States.
He's on a deferred contract.
He is, yeah.
So he's not getting paid that much. Let's be honest.
Trust me.
It's forthcoming.
Trust me, he may not be getting paid by the Dodgers, but that man is getting paid.
Oh, his endorsements are 30 to 35 million.
New Balance is definitely paying him. No.
Mark Wallers is not the owner of the Dodgers, is not crying over this. They're doing fine.
They're doing fine. Okay, so a prediction, if you would, for our lovely. How many games do our lovely neighbors to the north go? Remember, games 1, 2, 6, and 7 are in Toronto. Does that matter?
And that's why it's not going back. Dodgers in 5.
Dodgers in 5. Okay. I will take Dodgers in 6. I don't think that they win at home. And that's unfortunate, but cry me a river for a guy that hasn't won in I don't know how long anymore. I stopped counting how many years it's taken me to win a championship. So cry me a river. But the Dodgers went back-to-back. And unfortunately, this is going to set the stage for a strike in 2027. I have no doubt. Or a lockout. Or there will be a work stoppage in Major League Baseball in 2027. And more fans will leave to go to what could be in 10, 15, 20 years the most popular sport in the world, and that is basketball. And I know right now soccer is the most popular sport in the world. No question. Seth, I think basketball has a shot here. I don't think it'll happen in our lifetime, but I think after our lifetime, it may happen.
Basketball has become incredibly popular. I mean, basketball and soccer are so far above everybody else, every other sport at this point, that it doesn't even register. There's no third place.
And I think part of it is, and we'll get into this in a second, is the top 4 players in the NBA are non-Americans.
Correct.
So when you talk about a global game, now you can say that soccer is a global game. It is, no question. But when the biggest media markets in the world don't hold soccer as a major event, you can't say it's going to grow. It may be where it is, but it's not going to grow. I think soccer is what
it's not going to grow in the United States.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not going to grow here. And we have the two biggest media markets in the world.
You do realize we're hosting the World Cup in 6 months, right?
Fantastic. And you know what? First of all, how many people could afford the tickets?
None.
Right. So you're not growing it that way, right? You're not growing it by people going to the games. So are you growing it by people watching it on TV? I don't think you're going to have any more viewers because it's in the United States than you had when it was in Germany, except for the fact that it is local time. Okay, great. Fantastic. The top 4 players in the NBA are non-Americans. You have a Canadian, you have a Slovak, you have a Serbian, and you have a Frenchman. Those are the top. And you have a Greek guy. You got the top 5.
I was going to say.
Sorry, you got the top 5. The top 5.
You have Wemby as a top 5 player?
Certainly, potentially this year, he could be a top 5 player.
Correct.
If Wemby stays healthy, he will win the Defensive Player of the Year. No question in my mind. When you call out some of these awards, you should be calling out the non-Wemby category because he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year if he plays 65 games.
Who is your best American player right now?
That is an excellent. I think the best American player, healthy American player, right? Got to be healthy.
He's not healthy. You can't play him. You can't call it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So he's got to be healthy, right? Mm-hmm. It is a toss-up between Devin Booker and Jalen Brunson.
And I would probably take Anthony Edwards over both of them.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about Edwards. You're right. I would take Edwards too. But I would take a healthy, I don't think he will stay healthy, but he's healthy right now. If we're talking today, a healthy Anthony Davis is better than all of them. I just don't view Anthony Davis going to stay healthy. We saw when Anthony Davis went to Dallas last year for the, 10 games that he played and was healthy. Anthony Davis is a top 10 player in the NBA.
When motivated and healthy, yes. But he's never healthy.
Right. So, okay. So we have 35 minutes. I'm excited about the NBA this year. I know I was last year. I know before that I get excited every now and again for the NBA, and I watch a lot of it more than I used to. And I think a lot of that is because Syracuse sucks, and I don't have a whole lot of and I don't enjoy college basketball the same way I used to. So I need to supplement that. But I'm excited. I'm excited because the Knicks are going to be good. I'm excited because other teams are not. and this is the first year in my lifetime, probably. The Knicks are probably either the favorite or second favorite to go to the NBA championship.
They're a legitimate threat to go to the finals.
And if you can get to the finals, ask the Toronto Blue Jays, you're telling me there's a shot. I mean, it ain't a really good shot, but you're telling me there's a chance, right? So, I mean, so I put this year's teams in a couple of categories. I put for the East. I put top contenders, taking the year off. Okay, hoping for health, and one stud teams, and then everybody else.
Okay, so let me see if I can do some best guesses here for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go for contenders. Contenders. I got four.
You have four?
Four in the contenders.
Knicks, they're Cleveland, they're Orlando, and then I'm going to say Atlanta.
Yes. Well, I love what Atlanta has done. I think Atlanta snuck in because really I couldn't put them in any other category. I love what Atlanta has done. I love what the Magic have done. And everything about the Magic is going to come down to health. Everything.
Correct.
Because they don't have the depth that some of these other teams have. They have Jalen Suggs, who hasn't played in 6 months and still is not healthy. Desmond Bane and the two big guys, right? And other than that, they don't have a lot of depth behind that. The Knicks have the deepest team they've had in 20 years. And it's going to be tested because already tonight they don't have Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson. Then you have the Cavs, who have Darius Garland out for a while. They have Max Strus out for a while. And they're going to be relying on Donovan Mitchell, who took a lot of time off last year because he had backups. And Jared Allen, Eric Mobley, and our friend of the pod, Lonzo Ball, as one of the guys we like to root for. Because how do you not root for Lonzo Ball? Now LaMelo, we don't really root for, but Lonzo we root for because everybody roots for Lonzo.
Yeah. LaMelo is not really relevant this year, so unless he gets traded.
All right, so give me my next category: taking the year off.
Well, taking the year off, is that your bottom tier or is that the mid tier?
No. That's just a tier. That's a tier.
Taking the year off, we have Washington.
Yeah. Well, no. Washington is just bad. Taking the year off means next year they're going to be good. They are taking the year off.
Gotcha. Okay. So then that's Boston.
Yes.
That's Indiana.
Yes.
Is that Philly?
Yes, because I have no confidence that this team is going to be good. And maybe a year off will make them better. I don't really have any idea. But those are your three. And the Heat may sneak in depending on how Tyler Hero does.
The Heat don't take years off. They're not built that way.
I know. Okay, then you have your one studs. Who are your one studs?
Okay, so the one studs are...
It's only two.
Well, one is obviously Milwaukee.
Yes.
And one is probably Detroit with Cade.
No. Actually, Detroit was one I couldn't fit in. The one studs are the Bulls. Because I see nobody except for Matthias Vuzelis, that can do anything on that team. That team is awful. That team is awful to watch. That team is awful, or Giddey, I guess, but I don't see Giddey as a stud. I see Vuzelis as a possible stud.
I think we talked about this, of the worst franchises of the last 25 years. And I had the Bulls there.
Yeah, you did.
Because there's nothing. They're not good. They're not bad. They're there. So to me, you're a one and done, I would see a one and done or like a one stud. I wouldn't put Vuzelis there. We don't really know what.
That's fair. That's fair. And then Cade goes in. You're absolutely right. Cade goes in. Pistons are an interesting team for a couple of reasons. We had some extensions this week, and You saw Dyson Daniels get extended by the Hawks, right?
Yep.
You saw earlier this year Josh Giddey getting extended. You saw some of the Nets get extended. You saw some extensions throughout the league. The one team that you didn't see any of the extensions was the Pistons. Jaden Ivey, not extended and hurt again.
For the 800th straight time.
Jalen Duren, not extended. This is a pretty big year for those two guys who will go into restricted free agency next year. And we saw what happened with your Cam Johnson and Quentin Grimes, where they took the qualifying offer. Yeah. And then we have those teams that, oh boy, I don't know where to put the Raptors at all. The Raptors are one of those teams. The Raptors remind me of a team where, like the Bulls, except they're trying. I just don't see them going. I just don't see them going anywhere.
I think the Raptors think the Raptors are going to be good. Wow, I feel like I'm speaking like Ricky Henderson.
It's okay. Ricky did well for Ricky.
Ricky does well for Ricky.
No, Ricky's dead.
I know, but Ricky had a good run.
He did.
But I don't think anyone really has I think no one really has a feel for Toronto, to be perfectly honest. They overpaid for, what's his name? Was it Podol? I forget who they overpaid for. But they have a decent roster. If Scotty Barnes can be what they think he is. They have Barrett. They overpaid for Ingram. I know that. Yeah, they re-signed. They have Podol. They have Quigley. They're kind of to me they're the easiest pick to make as a play-in team. I believe. I think they'll be the lower end playing team. I mean, your top four are your top three are very simple. 4 is between probably Atlanta and Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee is going to be a little bit better than you do. Boston.
I don't think Milwaukee's going to be poor.
I think they're top 6.
No, I'm not putting them in the top 6. Nope, 0, no chance.
I'm assuming your top 3 are New York, Cleveland, Orlando in some order. Before we move off of Toronto, I want to ask you something. Based on their team, now we know that there are 4 real categories. There's cap space team, there's luxury tax team, there's apron 1 team, and there's apron 2 team, right? That's where teams fall. In one of those 4. You either have salary cap, you have room, you have no room, but are not in the tax. You're in the tax, you're over the first apron, or you're over the second apron. With a team like Toronto, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, Emmanuel Quigley, RJ Barrett, Jacob Podol, Ochai Agbaji, Colin Murray Boyles, Grady Dick as your top 8 players, based on the quality of those players, which of those 5 does this team fall in? Which should they fall in? Of your 5 tiers?
Well, those are the 5 tiers. You either have cap room, you're over the cap and under the tax, you're in the tax, you're over the first apron, or you're over the second apron. Based on the quality of those players, not the contracts that you think, where should this team be?
Around the tax.
Okay. This team is over the first apron.
I know.
And not only are they over the first apron, they are already over the first apron for next year.
Yeah. I mean, they overpay because they don't think people want to come. They overpay to keep people like a Scotty Barnes. And I am not sure what they have. I think they're a play-in team. And I look around. as I said, I think there's three. I think there's three teams that are definitively not going anywhere. I think that's conceded. Philly is a hard team to figure out because who knows who's healthy.
Mhm.
Chicago is going nowhere. And then as I said, look, a Milwaukee team, they were not better with Lillard. Remember that. So I'm not sure them losing Lillard really hurts them very much. And you know me, I'm a Portland guy.
Okay, hold on a second. Let's talk about how this team is going to space the floor.
Oh, I understand.
Okay, they lost. They 2 years ago they had Malik Beasley. They lost him. Their team, Seth. I know you. I know you know this. I do. I know it's their top players right now are Giannis, Miles Turner, who could space the floor. Don't get
Yes,
me
he
wrong.
can.
Miles Turner will help that. Okay, but will he help that in addition to setting off what Lillard did? No.
Lillard wasn't great for them.
But he spaced the floor.
Yeah. The key to this team is probably, as weird as this sounds, is probably Cole Anthony.
Well,
Cole Anthony was a sixth player of the year, sixth man of the year candidate. And really got there for nothing. He's going to be his first chance to really kind of run a team.
He's not running that team.
I think you don't think he's the point? You think Porter's going to be the point?
Yeah. Your starting five on that team is Giannis, Miles Turner, Kyle Kuzma, Bobby Portis, and or Gary Trent Jr. and Kevin Porter Jr.
No, it's not.
Okay.
You're not you got four power forwards there.
No, I got Kevin Porter at the point guard, Gary Trent at the shooting guard, Kyle Kuzma at the small, Giannis at the power, and Miles Turner at the center.
So you're not starting Portis?
I'm not starting Portis, no.
Okay, I thought you said you were starting Portis.
I'm sorry, I am not starting Portis because Portis doesn't start.
I look at this team and I say, look, there are some people here. Turner's going to have a chip. Portis always has a chip. Kuzma's coming off the single worst season ever. He's going to have a chip. This is going to be Giannis has a chip because he's sick of hearing all this crap. This is a team that's going to have a lot of chips on their shoulders.
Yeah, but they don't have a lot of talent, Seth.
I think they're deep enough to go 7 or 8 deep. I don't think they can go much further than that. But I think you can go deep. Jericho Sims is perfectly fine as a backup center. I don't think you're arguing that.
No, I think what I'm arguing is you can certainly go 7 or 8 deep. So could a junior varsity team go 7 or 8 deep. They just don't have my point is you can play 7 or 8 on this team. I'm not disputing that. I just don't think anybody past Turner is any good. So you can play them. They're better than everybody else.
That way you can also, yes, you can. I do think there is talent on this team. I also think the East stinks.
I agree. And we only have 20 minutes left.
Going into the playoffs in the West.
I agree with that too. We only have 20 minutes and we still have to cover the West. So, all right, where are you? Give me 1 through 8 in the East for yourself.
I'll go Cleveland, Knicks, Orlando.
Okay.
Give me a second here.
I will do the same, by the way. I do not think that the Knicks win the Eastern Conference in the regular season.
I'm going to go Atlanta, Milwaukee, Boston at the 6.
No Detroit? Are you missing Detroit?
I have Detroit at the 7.
Okay.
Miami at the 8. Philly at the 9. And of course, because they have to be, Chicago at the 10.
I agree with all those. I think it's a different order. I think you're right. Cleveland, the Knicks. Oh, and you don't have the Pacers at all, if I heard that correctly.
Okay. So the Pacers probably make the play-in. but
Okay.
I'm really uncomfortable with that team without
So
Halliburton, without Turner.
yeah, I have the Cavs, the Knicks, the Magic. Oh, sorry, the Cavs, the Knicks, the Hawks, the Magic. I think the Hawks will actually play in the 3. The Magic, the Pistons at 5, the Bucks at 6, uh, the Heat at 7, the Celtics at 8, the Pacers at 9, and the Bulls at 10. Yeah, I don't have the Sixers making the playoffs because I don't think the Sixers can be healthy. And by the way, again, the only 2 bets I have made in this entire in for the season is over on 38.5 for the Heat and under for 22.5 on the Wizards. I am very comfortable with my Wizards pick.
Who do you have winning? Who's your conference final?
I think the Knicks are going to play the Hawks in the final, and I think the Knicks will win the finals.
All right, I have the Knicks in Cleveland.
And God, if the Knicks make the finals, I may actually go to a finals game this year.
There you go. I do think the Knicks are going to make the finals.
It will not be in New York, by the way. I will go to wherever that is because I can't afford to go to Madison Square Garden.
No, you can't.
For that one. Okay, moving on to the West. We got 19 minutes. So tell me what you get. I think it's the Thunder, right? Thunder far and away, own bracket.
I mean, I don't know how you go against them at this point. I think you're looking at Oklahoma City as the number 1.
Oklahoma City is an over-under of 62.5. What are we taking?
I would probably take the over.
Okay, they won 68 last year, just to give you some idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Holmgren should be better because he's going to be more healthy, and Jalen Williams is going to be healthy. I don't think they're going to win 68, but I think they'll win over 62.
Okay.
I think Denver is the consensus number 2 because for the first time in years they have a bench. If Jamal Murray can actually stay healthy, I like Cam Johnson. I like bringing back Brown. I like bringing back Valanushka. You know what I'm talking about. Jonas. Not bringing him back, but actually allowing Jokic to have some time off during the regular season. I think that's kind of a pretty easy way to do it. I think people are sleeping on Minnesota a little bit. This is a team that's gone 2 years in a row to the conference finals. They're going to be better. I think they'll be a bit of a more comfort zone with Randall and Gobert playing together. If Dillingham or Shannon can step up, I think this team has a legitimate shot.
So I'd like to point one thing out that I don't know how much preseason basketball you have watched, which
very little.
Presume very little, is Valanciunas, that's how you pronounce his name. Valanciunas has been playing with Jokic in the preseason. The double big, my friends, is back in the Western Conference. No joke. So let's see here. The Thunder are playing Hartenstein and Holmgren, right? The Rockets are playing any 5 guys because they're all big. But it really is Steven Adams and Şengün, right? Don't count the Lakers. You got the Nuggets with Valanciunas and with Jokic. You have the Clippers with Brook Lopez and Zubac. You have the Timberwolves playing with Naz Reid, Randall, and Gobert. I love this. This is like 1980s basketball all over again. Can we please have Bill Cartwright and Patrick Ewing or next to each other? I mean, the Twin Towers of Rouse Sampson and Hakeem. Let's play it all out. And by the way, I forgot to say Zach Collins and Wemby, because Wemby, by the way, would be the small forward in that situation, which is a 7'5" small forward. Yes, please, 1,000 times. That's how they're playing. Anyway.
All right. The division, that Northwest division of Oklahoma City, Denver, and Minnesota is absolutely stacked.
Yep.
I think the only team you legitimately cannot think has a chance at the playoffs is Utah. Utah and Phoenix, excuse me, are the two that I don't think have a prayer. New Orleans, I find New Orleans so hard to figure out
Why?
because it feels like they have talent. It
Where?
feels like they can never. I mean, think about it. 2 years ago, they win the two play-in games. I think they beat Golden State, if I remember correctly, and then they play the hell out of whoever they played in the 1-2-7 or 1-8 game. And look, I don't love the trade for Derek Queen. Can't really lie about that.
Okay,
But
hold on. Before we go there, this is the depth chart for the New Orleans Pelicans, right?
yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's
Okay.
less impressive than
Your point guard. The only person that had a worse year than Kyle Kuzma last year is Jordan Poole, and he's your point guard. Jordan Poole has never seen a ball he has not liked to shoot, and he's playing point guard, backed up by the guy who can't even get into an 18 and over bar, Jeremiah Fears, backed up by the guy that is 5'9". I am exaggerating, but 5'9" and hasn't hit a jump shot since 2015, Jose Alvarado. Those are your
man can steal.
those are Seth. Those are your point guards. Okay, your shooting guards. I'm sorry, Trey Murphy III, defensive wizard. Okay, backed up by that guy Jordan Poole. Your starter at small forward, Herbert Jones. Oh, we just mentioned who his best comparable is. Oh, that would be Trey Murphy III, another defensive guy. Makes perfect sense. Backed up by Sadiq Bey, who didn't play at all last year. Your power forward is a slim down, at least for the first 10 games of the year, Zion Williamson, who will win the next award to holy cow, he made it onto the IR list next to Darren Waller, who went on today. And oh my God, he went onto the IR, backed up by Derek Queen, who's not going to play for 3 months, backed up by Sadiq Bey, who we just went through. Your center is Yves Missy, who, all I got to say is who.
Wasn't he the runner-up for Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, probably. Backed up by Kevon Looney, who for 10 years didn't get hurt when he played in Golden State. And the minute he steps onto a New Orleans Pelicans court, gets hurt and is out for 4 weeks. Where is the talent on this team?
Your sarcasm is noted. We do have DeJounte Murray. They do have DeJounte Murray coming back.
When?
January.
Okay. I'll believe that when I see it, as he has a torn Achilles tendon, not an ACL.
Understood.
Yeah. This team is – I will tell you one thing. I'm looking forward to watching the Pelicans play in March because they're going to be playing really, really hard because they have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
They have no draft pick that will be going to the Hawks. And by the way, I just want to point this out, as we have put the Rockets in the top 3, right? That's where we put them, give or take. Top 4?
Probably top 4.
Okay, top 4. The Rockets have the Phoenix Suns first-round pick this year. And the swap rights to your Brooklyn Nets.
No, that's next year.
Wait, they have the ability to get 2 first-round picks this year. I thought it was that one. Maybe it's a different first-round pick. The Rockets have 2 first-round, have the ability to get.
Honest, I don't know who had a dumber draft, New Orleans or Brooklyn. I really don't.
Oh, it's got to be New Orleans. It's got to be.
Brooklyn picked 5 first-round picks. Didn't trade anything. Didn't swap anything. And pretty much overdrafted 3 of the 5 guys. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so who are your top 4 in the West?
Oh, you're right. It's 2027. They get Phoenix's first round pick and swap rights to Brooklyn. My apologies. They may get 2. Whatever. Okay. My number 2 is the Nuggets. Number 3 is the Rockets. Number 4 is the Clippers. Number 5 is the Wolves. Number 6 is the Warriors. The Warriors could be an amazing. They could flame out or be amazing. What am I at? 6. Number 7 is the Mavericks. Am I only at 7? Oh, 7 is the Spurs. 8 is the Mavericks.
Okay.
The Mavericks have a shot at the playoffs if Kyrie comes back and is healthy. I am intrigued by Cooper Flag. By the way, we also have to pick the Rookie of the Year non-Cooper Flag edition because he doesn't count. But
I'll go Ace Bailey.
just because he's going to get a lot of time. You know he's going to play, right? He's going to play. Rookie of the Year.
That San Antonio team he's going to play with Castle, who won the Rookie of the Year, and
Harper.
De'Aaron Fox. So I'm not sure how much time he's going to get. Knoopel will get a lot of PT in Charlotte, but I'll just go with Bailey.
Okay. Okay. I am going to go with Derek Queen because he's going to get a lot of time too. I think he'll make a push. I think he's going to make a push at the end. Yeah. Is this so before we go into our rankings here for our champions, is this the last year of Zion Williamson in New Orleans?
I think so.
Is the over-under 40 games, more or less?
I'm going to say over because I believe the contract, there's going to be contract rationale for it.
Contract rationale for what?
Doesn't he? What is his deal? If he's under, if he's over a certain number of games, his salary is guaranteed.
Yes, but it's less than 40. Like 40 guarantees it.
Right. That's why I'll say he'll play 40. He'll play over.
And then he's going to get traded.
I think he would be the most difficult person to come up with a trade value for of anyone I've ever seen.
100%. Because if you're the GM, and if you're, I don't even know who the GM is. Oh, if you're Joe Dumars, right, or Troy Weaver, and you're the guy that trades Zion, and then Zion becomes Zion, then you traded away this guy and got pennies on the dollar for him. But if you're the general manager that's trading for Zion, why are you giving more than pennies on the dollar at this point? That's why the rationale is hard. I think the Clippers are going to be number 4. By the way, I did not have the Lakers in that.
I noticed that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like that too much. I did have a theory this morning. I'm listening to some previews about Luka and the Lakers. My theory is that LeBron, while hurt, is not as hurt as LeBron says he's hurt. And this is why my theory is this. I don't think, no matter how good Luka is, he can hold that Lakers team as a playoff team by himself. I think they are going to struggle coming out the gate. I think they are going to maybe stay at 500, maybe even less than 500. Because other than Luka, they don't have a good team at all.
No, they don't.
So, knight in shining armor, coming in on his white horse, is this guy named LeBron James. In mid-November, early December, and all of a sudden, they become a playoff team, and they become very, very, very good, and they make the playoffs. And then LeBron can play to the adage of, I saved this season, and makes it so that team – remember, he doesn't have a contract for next year.
Nope.
So he plays this up. I don't think he's as hurt as he says he is, and I think he's playing this for another contract because Nobody is as contract savvy as this guy. Nobody.
Agreed.
So,
all right.
Just my thought.
I'm just
okay. Your champion in the West will be.
I don't know how you don't take Oklahoma City. I don't. I mean, they're the. I think it's Oklahoma City over Denver. Not exactly a real, crazy pick. I'll do my 8, I guess, as well. So I'm just kind of going through the divisions, and then I'll put it in order. From the Northwest, Oklahoma City, Denver, Minnesota. From the Pacific, Golden State and the Clippers. From the Southwest, Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas. I will have Oklahoma 1, Denver 2, Minnesota 3, Golden State 4, Houston 5, Clippers 6. Actually, Dallas 6, Clippers 7, San Antonio 8, Memphis 9, and then I'll have the Lakers sneak in at the 10 in the play-in.
Okay. Who is your MVP? First of all, who comes out of this? I think I'm picking the Nuggets to come out of it.
Really? You have them beating OKC?
I have the Nuggets beating OKC. I have Nikola Jokic being the MVP. And maybe it's because I don't think the Knicks could beat OKC, but I think they could conceivably beat Denver. I don't think they will. I think Denver wins the championship. And I think Nikola Jokic makes Seth Kamens rearrange his top 10 for all-time players. Because if you have 3 MVPs and 2 championships, 4 MVPs, excuse me, 4
MVPs, 2 second places.
2 second places and 2 championships, Seth. You show me a player that has that resume and is not in your top 10. There is not one, except for there just isn't. So I think you have to drop somebody out, and I'm looking forward to that discussion.
Does this mean I have to do my list all over again? God.
Just your top 10.
Fair enough. I have Jokic winning the MVP as well. Rookie of the year is Cooper Flag. There's really not there. I'm not as excited for this year as you are, although I don't think Maryland's going to be very good. Number one, my Nets are still irrelevant. Just not there yet. You know me; it takes time for me to get into everything. Even pro football, it always takes. I mean, as much as I love fantasy, it takes me time. So I'm not there yet, but I'm glad the season's starting. I find it weird that the game was on Peacock last night. Kind of missed the TNT, but such is life.
But I am excited for Round Ball Rock. I got to tell you, it does still give me chills. No question about it. Okay, one more question before we go. What team are you excited to watch? Just in general. If there's a game that's on, is there a team that you're like, oh yeah, I want to watch them? That's not your Nets, and that's not Oklahoma City. You're not watching them because they're great. You're watching them because you have interest in just watching them.
I'm curious to see Portland this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see San Antonio. I think those two off the top of my head. I'm kind of curious to see Houston with their 5, 6, 10 guys playing. How that's going to work.
Yes. So I will tell you, I got 3 teams on this. Number 1, we know it's the Hawks, right? I mean, I am so interested in seeing how that Hawks team fits. Number 2, I am interested in watching the Wizards. Not because they're going to suck as much as they are, but they are going to suck. But there are lots of young players on that team. And for the same reason, Portland. Because how are these young guys just going to fit together? All right. For Seth Kamens and Carly Kamens, who you're winking at, this is Sean Palmer.
Yeah, I know.
Because I winked.
Seth and Sean Sports. We'll see you guys next
I'm
week.
not winking, Sean.
What's that?
I'm not. She wanted to know how you knew.
Oh, because I don't know who else he's winking at. Okay. Bye-bye.